All right, what should you be buying in each one of these stores here? We're going to talk about the supply store, your Crucible store, your Blitz store. Like, what is the ultimate way that you should go about making purchases in the store? We're going to be talking about that here in today's video, but to go through it, you know, because I'm a little bit new coming back to the game here, and I need some expertise. I need some help. So I had to ask my guy, Valley.
I'm back, Goofy. I am back. How are you?
Hi.
Hello.
How's it?
My name is Paul. Some people know me as ValleyFlyin, and I'm back on the Goofy Rexy channel after years. It's been years, Goofy.
It's been quite some time. I don't know if you.
Welcome back to your
channel.
channel.
I don't know if you know, I have 4 children now. Did I talk? We talked recently. You know that information.
Is that 2 more than before? The last time we talked?
It's one more than the last time we talked. At least from what I know about here, it's just one more. But it's good to have you back, man. How are things been?
I'm glad you're back playing Marvel Strike Force. The devs have made the community happy that it's brought you back. It's infected everybody that's left and bringing people back.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about it at some point in time on your channel with the Valley Club. You know, I'm glad to have you back with the Goof Troop, though. You know, it's good to have you back.
What's up, Goof Troop?
What's going on? But let's dive into this here, man. So,
all right, stores.
In regards to the store, so first and foremost, in the supply store, so I've been back now, and I've pretty much primarily just been focusing on the main hero uniques. As you see here, I'm grabbing the augmented Judas bullets. I never know who might need it. I'm so paranoid. I just grab any hero unique that I possibly see. The spores I know are really important, but what's your general guide for this store here? Should you be grabbing like the mini uniques, like the Gear 18s, or should you prioritize that somewhere else? Like, what's your like overall thoughts on the store?
So my answer is based on if you have Super Scroll or not. So, do you have Super Scroll?
Yeah, I do have Super Scroll.
Okay, so you don't need to buy these Gear 18 pieces. If you did not have a Super Scroll and you're very close, I'll be buying these all the time because they're tough to get. In the Epic Orbs for your raids, they don't pop up that much. Your Armory 18 orbs, they don't pop up that much. So before I got Super Scroll, every single Gear 18 piece, doesn't matter what it is, I'm buying that. So first, do that. These uniques, I'm not buying every single one personally. You know, Alien Spores is one that a lot of characters need. Palladium, not so much. Those Judas bullets, I don't know who uses Judas bullets. So I'm not buying every single one, but there's certain ones like Astro Energy, Alien Spores, Osmium that I'm buying every single time in the supply store.
Well, I guess my reason on it is because I'm like, you never know which character, you have a piece that you're not really using, and then they bring out these new characters, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, damn it, I wasn't buying these pieces before. So I guess that's kind of the reason why I do it. And what's the number, right? So to bring a character up from, let's say, gear tier 15 to 18, it's like 60.
I know 25 to get to year 18, 22 to 17. I don't remember what it is to 16, but it's probably around that level. So 60-ish sounds right. I mean, if you figure it out, you'll probably put it in the comments, but if not, it's around 60.
It's around there. Okay. So that's with the supply store. Anything else that you should be grabbing from the supply store? Other than that?
Scroll down because I buy some of these unique. Sometimes I buy certain pieces, catalysts I run out of a lot. So sometimes if I'm short on catalysts, not the orange ones, the teal stuff I'm buying. But if you are a newer player, returning player, the orange would be the proper thing to do. I don't spend any power cores on any of those characters.
Yeah,
no matter who it is.
I'm glad that has not changed because I definitely don't think that's good value there.
Even if I'm only 5 shards short and then 5 shards is going to get me to next star level, I'll just wait for another store.
Yeah, it don't make no sense. No. All right, so then let's go to the Blitz store right now. So same thing for me here, kind of in a sense where I always buy the boost if I'm not maxed out, and I'll always buy the war energy refills if I'm not maxed out there. Are you grabbing catalysts from here too, or is that more so, hey, supply store if you're low on the catalyst?
I don't. Those basic catalysts, those augmented basic catalysts, I got a lot of. The health catalyst, the focus catalyst, those are the ones I tend to run out very, very quickly. So I buy those from the other stores. I don't buy these at augmented basic catalysts. The war energies, I buy those all the times. And because I'm in a war casual alliance, we don't do defensive boosts. So I never run out of those. We never even do those. So that is going to be based on your alliance. The rest of the stuff in this Blitz store, I don't buy. Now, I know you were asking a question. Should you buy characters or open these orbs? And I think that is going to be based on where your rest of your characters are.
Right.
If the only character I need is Gwenpool or maybe Gwenpool and Mockingbird, I'm selectively farming those.
Okay.
If there's a lot of characters in that orb that I don't have a lot of shards for, I'm opening that as orbs because you're getting more total shards from this orbs than you are from this. So you're getting more bang for your buck for your orbs.
Okay.
With the downside that you can't control which character shards you get. With this, you control with that, but they're a lot more expensive. So if there's only a couple characters you need, I would selectively farm them. If you are missing a lot of these characters, I would open these orbs.
Okay. So for, let's say, a beginner player now who is going through the store and they're trying to figure out, okay, well, should I be, which would you say would be better? Target farming?
How it depends how beginner.
Right.
Because at the very, very beginning, every shards you get is awesome.
Right, so the orbs might be better.
As you approach towards the mid game, I think certain teams are going to be falling off and other teams are going to be rising in the meta. Certain characters that I see there, Sunfire, Brawn, you're going to need them if you get Apocalypse. Morbius is a great war offense, but by the time newer players would farm him and build up that full Dark Hunters team, that may be out of the meta. Shang-Chi is a little different. He's kind of in the meta, but Gwenpool just moved that team to war defense, so that's a strong war defense. Iron Fist is needed for the skill section to raise right now, but that team is going to be the first to fall off. Mockingbird is great on war and is needed for maybe kind of needed for that unlock of Green Goblin Classic. So all three of those team characters are pretty important. The rest of them, not as important unless there's some certain things like Apocalypse that you need. Okay.
Shang-Chi may be a decent like beginner character that you can use.
Shang-Chi, I still use him at the end game as a plug and play character. He doesn't really fit on a solid team except for War Defense Heroes for Hire, but in Crucible, using him on many different teams depending on who my opponent is.
Right, and you might need Coulson because you need him for
Coulson New Avengers. I forgot about
Avengers and
She-Hulk's a part of that Apocalypse unlock.
Yeah, so as we
Rescue got a rework as part of the Pegasus team. She's actually very good.
Thing is here.
Thing is on. There's a lot of new Avengers. A lot more new Avengers than I thought.
Yeah, so pretty much it kind of seems like
Gamora's okay.
The best way to go about the store is probably just to open up orbs. Maybe you target farm specific characters that you might need initially, right? And then maybe after that, or maybe you vice versa do it. Maybe you do orbs if you're not getting a lot of credits so that you can spread out the shards, and if you're starting to get more frequency of credits where you can start target farming characters, then maybe you go that direction. Is that kind of sounds like the best way to go about doing it?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to make a hard and fast rule because certain players that just want to get shards, unlock everything. Certain players want to do that's in certain game modes. So just realize that target farming, you're getting the characters that you want, but you're spending more opening orbs. You're getting a lot more shards, which is good for a lot of players, but sometimes sometimes you want those selective shards. So it's based on certain situation.
Okay.
More early game, more the orbs, more late game.
More specific targets.
The selective farm. Then in between, I guess you got to make up your mind what's best for your situation.
Got you. All right, and probably going to follow kind of the similar rule here with the raid store, but we got to talk about these credits, right? In a little bit, but in terms of like the characters here, we're kind of following the same kind of idea, right? Target farm who you need, focus on who it is that you need for your legendary, unlocks and things like that. But really, orbs might be better sort of initially, right?
Initially, because it's going to give you more total shards, the orbs are going to be better. But at some point, you don't need a lot of total shards. You need it for select characters. So again, where you make that transition is kind of up to you where your priorities are. But you will need to make that transition at some point.
Right.
Icarus, I see there, great character. Bucky Barnes, part of the Invader team.
For skill.
Kind of phasing out. U.S. agent not really needed for too much anymore. Namor, rumors that he's getting a rework as part of the Cabal team, so maybe not needed right now, but sometime down the road. For Ronan, I don't see a lot of value for the rest of these characters unless somebody got a rework. Yeah, that's it. All right, now with these raid credits, sometimes I do buy these catalysts here. Okay. That's it. The health catalyst and the focus, the green and the red. The rest of the stuff I don't really buy unless there's origin pieces that I'm missing. I was missing a lot of origin pieces for the bio section, so they do have a few of these in the raid section, so I was buying that, but that's pretty much it right now. I'm pretty much buying gear at this point. And the shards, there's some good characters there.
Now, you're probably also doing it because you maybe have a plethora, right, of these raid credits. If you probably don't have a lot of them, you're probably more so just focusing on the characters, right?
Yeah, if let me see, actually I have a lot. So yeah, I'm focusing on the characters and just trying to spend that stuff, because if you've been playing this game for a long time, you have a lot of that stuff built up. If you're a new player, maybe not as much. So it kind of varies. But let's go back to these elite raid credits, because
this is the juicy topic right here, right?
It's a newer thing for someone that's returning. We didn't have these in the past. So do you have any of these unlocked?
Yeah, so I do have. Like right now, I'm trying to figure out, like, hey, should I be going after Nova's basic or passive or special? Sometimes Black Cat's ultimate pops up here in the store. I think maybe her ultimate is probably not necessary, but maybe her passive, if you're doing that mirror match, so that she doesn't spawn, I think, with like the death proof or something like that. But you know, like how are people like working out these elite credits? Like, how are you figuring out? Okay, I guess you're looking at the abilities, but what's the proper way to play? You know, with these elite credits?
I would go one at a time. So pick the ability that you want. For the first one that I did, it was a passive for Black Cat. The next one I did, then I did the ultimate for Black Cat. Then I did the passive for Nova. But stick with one at a time. You know, if you're in a higher level alliance, you're getting about a little more than 2,400 per day, which means you could get at least 5 per day of these awakened ability materials. Just stick with one. Once you got the next one done, once you got that one done, then just work on the next one and just go whatever order you value these in.
Okay. All right. Cause I've been kind of spreading it out a little bit here, but then I stopped because I'm like, okay, I need a proper guide on what to do with these elite raid credits here. So that's some good advice. I'll definitely start kind of start specifically focusing on one and then working on that. And after time, I'll come back and see if I need the other one. Who knows? By the time you're done with one, you may not need the next one after you're done, right?
Yeah, I just figured you're eventually gonna have a super big surplus of all these elite raid credits. Might as well get all of these. I know some people are hoarding them in anticipation for Green Goblin. I think eventually he's gonna come here, but I think if you are doing these raids and you're getting a lot of these credits, you're eventually gonna buy them anyway. So max out all these abilities is how I feel.
I feel good about that. All right, now.
Oh, one more word though. Just remember, for Black Cat, it only affects her on arena offense. All these passives, all these awakened abilities. For the Nova awakened abilities, only affects him when he's on war offense. Doesn't affect him on war defense. And same thing for Green Goblin, doesn't affect him when he's on defense, only on war offense or Crucible offense. So it only affects these characters in the offense game modes that they are supposed to be graded.
Okay. All right. That works for me. And then these next couple stores here. So we have the Arena Store. This is probably following the same typical rules here with Arena with Blitz and with raids. But Arena is a little bit different because you actually don't get these credits as much.
There's
right?
no orb.
Yeah. So, there's an Arena orb, but the value from what I can remember with the Arena orb before I came back, there wasn't a ton of value.
Sorry, there is an orb. They did add it. Yeah, okay. And for like your first 2 years, there wasn't one.
Yeah. But the orb, you're probably better off with this one, just because with the Arena orb, it's about almost the same cost, right, as just target farming.
Yeah, when they did introduce this one, this was always the one. So they introduced this as a means to not just add them to the store, add them to the orb first and trickle them through. They stopped doing that when the introduction of diamonds. They're just like, all right, here's the character shards, get these character shards. I wouldn't get this orb anymore, because unlike the Blitz Store and Raid Store, like you said, the Arena orb is actually a little more expensive than some of these shards here. So if you're looking for some of these older characters, you're actually losing value by opening the Arena orb. So this is not one that I would get. It's giving you a little more value for some of these characters, but this orb was designed as kind of a trickle effect, as kind of a half farming effect. So now that that's not needed, don't buy the orb. It has zero value nowadays. The characters are going to be, you can buy their shards right away. So yeah, get the characters that you want and characters that stand out. Ronin is good for the new Avengers. Heartless is great if it's just for the Dark Hold, especially if you don't have Apocalypse unlock. You need him. Dagger is great for the new warriors right now. Phyla-Vell and the full Infinity Watch is going to have a lot of value, but that's about it. And Vulture got a rework and is very, very good now.
Yeah.
I think that's about
it's
it.
Probably
everything else is
at the moment. I mean, Swarm you probably don't need. I mean, if you're getting the Swarm, if you're getting
Scarlet Witch, you gotta farm Scarlet Witch if you don't have a
that's
Apocalypse.
right. You do have to get Scarlet Witch here. So there's actually a decent amount of characters that are in here that you probably do need.
It's a lot of characters.
So it's quite a bit, but those are the ones that you would definitely focus on here. So Heartless,
it's gonna take Ronin, a while. Over time, you'll get it all. Though.
Dagger. Then you got my goodness. Vulture, Scarlet Witch, and that's pretty much it. But just understand that this store is going to be a very slow farm. It's going to be a process that you're going to do over time. I mean, all the stores really are, but this one more so than the next one. And then, all right, so next I want to talk here about the War Store, and this one is a little bit challenging for me because, like I said, I mean, I've talked to you about this a little bit before, and there's like these hero uniques that are here, but I find that whenever I do that, I'm running out of being able to get enough to farm, characters, shards to be able to farm, because it's pretty expensive, especially for some of these newer characters. 2750. You got Firestar here that's needed for new warriors. It's like, well, what's priority? Like, is priority shards in the store, or is priority the gear, the hero uniques? Like, what would you consider to be the direction?
So for me, I'm a completionist. I want my characters at 7 stars, and I'm going to go on to other stuff. So for me, I want to get these characters maxed out. Now, Ironheart Mark II. There is that problem that you mentioned. I need unique pieces that I need to spend my war credits on. I also don't have Mark II Ironheart maxed out. But if you look at these characters, if you scroll up to the top of your screen, you got a couple different types of characters there. You got Ironheart Mark II, who's a raid character primarily, and Firestar, who was a Cosmic Crucible character, now moving to war defense, so it's a little less valuable. But let's say we were back a couple weeks. Firestar was still in the Crucible meta. I would keep farming Firestar until she's 7-star, because Cosmic Crucible, I want to build those characters big because I'm competing against other players. Character like Ironheart, let's say that she was just a raid character, and for example, let's say they didn't have a lot of value outside of the raids. Pegasus does, but for this example, let's say they didn't. Right. I would only build Ironheart to what I needed for that, because for a raid team, you only want to build them as big as you need for the current raid that you and your alliance are doing. Any extra resources you put in after that is for other game modes. You don't need them for the raid. So Ironheart's a weird example because Pegasus does have value in Crucible. They do have value in War, but let's say they didn't and they were strictly a raid team. Only build her to what you need. Once you are doing whatever you need the raid, stop building those characters. And this store does need kind of an economy update, because it's not possible to farm all these characters, especially if you're returning and have a backlog of characters and the uniques you have. So at this point, either target farm and build up certain teams, or go back and fill up your teams. If it was me, because I'm a completionist, I'm filling these teams, and I'm getting you my uniques from the normal supply store and from the Crucible store. Okay, not from the War store.
Okay, I got you.
But that's me.
No, I mean that's probably going to be the direction that I'm taking right now. I mean, it's more one of those things where it's like, okay, if I have these in particular, I don't really need a lot of these right now. Like that's not
that one you could get.
Yeah, I'm not like in a dire need for these.
Oh, it's a War store. It's a War store. Never mind. So, not from the War store. You could get that one though, but not from the War store.
Exactly. So then now here I'm like, okay, well, if I had the credits, I'll probably grab this. But then I'm always like, oh, if I run out, then I don't have. There's an important unique there, but there are so many other places that you can grab uniques from. Like for instance,
not many, but there's 2 others that you're getting more currency, right?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's at least a Crucible store and a supply store, right? So in the Crucible store, let's talk about that. There's a lot of important characters that are actually in the store. You've got Ghost Rider Robbie, you've got Quicksilver, is probably like a top 10 character in the game. So there's a couple important characters that you want to get here. Captain Carter is also in the store. She's going to be a part of that new Out of Time team. Agatha is here. Spider-Man 2099 is just
is good. It's good in Crucible. So, for Crucible, right? It's good in Crucible offense with Weaver. So they're still gonna have value for a little while.
If you care about Cosmic Crucible, you definitely may want to get that character. So how are you utilizing your Crucible credits? Because I find that I'm getting a decent amount of these where, once again, I'm grabbing things like the hero uniques. I'm not really grabbing a lot of extra gear though. Like not even these pieces I'm really grabbing right now. It's mostly if I have the characters to farm, I just got these maxed out. I'm not farming them anymore. But would you say here, this is one of those stores where you kind of have a little bit more flexibility because you can kind of get some more Crucible credits on a regular?
All right, so I think these character shards are super important, and characters that you have popping up right there. Ghost Rider Robbie Reyes in the arena meta right now, valuable in Crucible, value in War. that is a top end character.
Dark Dimension
if
too,
I did
right?
not have that character at 7 stars, I would be farming that character. Same thing with Quicksilver. Quicksilver is not really on a team, but is sort of involved in some arena teams right now, involved in a bunch of hybrid teams in Crucible War. So that is a character that I think does have value. Some of these other ones, I don't know if I would go back and farm them, except that they're required for a specific character like Abomination for Apocalypse. I probably could hold off in 2099 if I didn't have them. If I didn't have them yet. Nemesis, you need him for Apocalypse. So some of these characters I would go back and get, but I've been playing since Crucible started. And if you've been playing since Crucible started, you have a lot of credits and you probably have all these Crucible characters all maxed out. So I'm a little different place than most players. So what I'm doing right now, though, because I'm saving my Crucible credits, not open these orbs. That's another place that you get some uniques, is the Teal Gear Crucible orb. There are some uniques there, but I'm mainly farming whatever unique pops up. So you scroll down a little bit more. So your unique is the Uru. Yeah. So no matter what pops up in that section there, I'm buying it, whether I need it or not. So, because I got a lot of Crucible credits. You know, if you've been playing for a while, you have a lot of extra Crucible credits. And then I'm buying whatever catalysts up there. So if there's a health catalyst, focus catalyst, I'm buying those. So I would buy that. But you don't have as short as I do there. So I don't know if you need to buy them. But and then down at the last section of the Teal Gear, you have some origin pieces. I'm always short of that augmented MRI. Phosphates, I'm short of. The glyphs, they're for the mystic characters. I'm short on those a lot. So I buy those. That's what I'm doing on a daily basis in this. The orbs, I am holding off a little bit.
I don't remember opening up these quite often at all. I usually kind of just hold off on that. And because I mean, you're usually using those credits, right, to do your farming. So you're kind of holding off on opening up the orbs, right?
Yeah, like I said, most of my characters are already got there already.
It's just for like the future characters that are going to go into the store. You're saving it for.
I'm holding a surplus for future characters, and I'm only opening that Teal Gear orb when I'm missing like some catalysts or I'm missing some uniques, and hopefully get a unique when I open those. But the conversion rate is not that great, so I open those very sparingly. Those orbs.
Okay. And we got a couple more stores that we could talk about. I mean, we could tackle like the Elite Store if we.
It's a little different now. Yeah. It's a little different. It's
kind of requires its own video, if you ask me, probably specifically. So we won't talk about that one in this video. You have this store here, but this I think is very nuanced depending on.
I don't buy anything in this store.
I'm grabbing the blues because I feel like I'm typically running out of the crystals, even though when I do farm them, and I don't have a ton of.
I just find the conversion rate is super.
Yeah.
Look at the conversion rate though. It's so expensive. Go down to the blues. Get 2 blues.
It's like 20K.
For 20,000 of 20,000 of those. Yeah, that's
the only reason why I'm doing it, because I have an abundance and a surplus of it, right? But I wouldn't recommend it. The only times I use these credits primarily if I have something that's under 500 in terms of like the crystals, I'll grab it. I'll grab that. But for the most part,
I would not. It's so easy to farm. They up the farm rates on these in the green section. I would just farm them, spend some incursion, isolate energy instead of getting any greens. Greens are so easy to farm.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that one. Then we do have the Ultimate Store here, which this is one that was new for me when I came back. I wasn't,
characters here, right? You just had the orb when you left, and if you got a jackpot in the orb, you get an ultimate shards. They took that out.
Right.
This is actually a pretty decent store.
So now, what I've been told is that I basically should just like save these credits just so that I can target farm the characters instead of open up the orbs, right?
Yeah. Again, newer players, you're going to get more shards from the orbs.
Well, newer players are going to take you a while, right, to be able to even get these credits.
Oh, yeah, because you need your characters at 7 stars. So once you start getting these duplicates, I guess you could look at your roster at that point. If you need more total shards or if it's more valuable to target farm these characters. Personally, right now I'm in a place that I'm target farming, but there was times, even after this, that I was opening these Ultimate orbs. I was like, I need a lot of these characters. So, it depends on your situation.
All right. So that's a quick rundown. It's not quick. I'm kidding.
Quick rundown. Yeah, Goofy. Jeez.
Well, that's a rundown here of the store. I think I have a little bit more of a picture as to what I'm going to do here. Hopefully you're able to get a good picture as to what you're going to do as well. Now we're going to be talking about something else, right, on your channel.
Returning players. There's a lot of people returning to the game because the game has gotten better. It's in a much better place and people are coming back. What do you do? I know you talked about it. couple weeks ago, but now you're in a few weeks. So we'll talk about what changes you may have.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely go check out that video here on the ValleyFlyin channel. Valley, man, it was good to have you here, brother.
I'm glad to be back. It's good to be back.
All right, y'all. Goof Troop, we appreciate y'all chilling and hanging out with us. Until next time, guys. And as usual, y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe.